Here we are. Hello, Eddie.
Hello.
Nice to have you with us.
Thank you.
So, briefly, let me introduce myself. My name is Alka, and I'm the founder of this organization called Global Women Power. And here comes Nancy. She's going to join us too.
Great.
So, we had been doing this work for about more than 5 years now. And our main focus is to empower where there is less power, you know. So it's not only men, not only women, like we are helping men as well as children, senior citizens, all the people. And in that attempt only, we just thought of starting this thing called She Rose, um, with the idea of that, instead of going through this monotonous, motivating talks, we should talk to some real person and their real life experiences.
Yes.
So
Makes
I'm,
sense.
yes. So I'm telling you that by now we are getting more and more impressed by everybody's story. And it is unbelievable. And people are also watching it and they are saying that the kind of wisdom they get from life's pattern, from this sequence, is amazing. So here you are, and thank you very much for coming over. And we are live on Facebook, and then we're also recording, and we go on YouTube. So there are many people who will be listening to and watching as well.
Okay.
So the way we start is that you just tell us what you're doing, and then how did it start, like from where you got the inspiration, and you grew up to this beautiful story you are today.
Hi, Eddie. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead.
Thank you, Nancy, for inviting me.
You look beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. So, my name is Eddie Reynolds, and I am president and CEO of Illuminar Inc. We manufacture LED lights for surveillance equipment, license plate capture, um, city smart cities.
Mm,
Basically, we're in the electronic security industry, which is a predominantly male industry.
that's what I thought.
So I started in this industry in the mid 90s as a systems integrator, which means I would go out to industrial and commercial facilities and help design security systems for them. I didn't start out wanting to do that. One, I went to school and studied psychology,
Wow.
and and then I put myself through modeling school. I was always interested in different things. Modeling school, uh, worked for Sally's as a delivery person for hair and skincare. And then it was actually a friend from school who got me in this industry with no electronic experience. Um, so I was good in sales, and I teamed up with one of the other sales guys who was more of an engineer type person, and we worked together and built systems. And then I was in Houston doing that, and then I moved to Los Angeles where I worked for a manufacturer. They made lenses and they brought on lighting, but at the time it was bulb based, what we call infrared lighting. Then several years later, um, I met my future ex-husband, he is now, and he introduced me to some gentlemen who wanted to start a lighting business and needed a US partner. They were in the UK, and that's how I got started with my own business. And then we split, and then I started Illuminar in 2009. And I built Illuminar to be a global business. So we're worldwide. And so that's how Illuminar came to be, and that's how Nancy found me, I guess, on LinkedIn with getting accolades from the industry because I don't look like what the industry traditionally looks like. Even though we're trying to change that, we're trying to diversify the industry because we want it to look like a melting pot, like America is. So that's what we're doing.
So when I was going through your profile, there were so many tongue twisters. I said, oh, like, what all she's doing. So it's really, really impressive and kind of overwhelming, you know. And when you tell a story, then you tell briefly like way you told, but it
Yes.
takes time, patience, resilience to build, right?
Yes, yes, it's not
Yes.
overnight.
It's not
Our
overnight.
12th birthday was for the company was last month. So we've been going for 12 years as a Luminar. But yes, I like to give back. So I also mentor to, you know, women or other minorities wanting to start their own business. And not just women and minorities, some men in my industry who wanted to change careers, just people who want to start their own business and they're afraid to take that step, right? Because it is scary, but you have to be a risk taker. And there's never a perfect time to start a business. If you wait for the sun and the moon and the stars to align, then you'll be waiting forever because it's never going to happen. Even during an eclipse, right? When the moon and the sun align, it's still not a perfect situation. So you just have to have that mindset and have faith that it's all going to work out, because the only person you can really count on is yourself.
Wow.
And so instead of working for someone else and making them wealthy and you're rich, I was always mentored as a child by my friend's parents. That if you wanted to be rich, you work for someone, but if you wanted to be wealthy, then you go and work for yourself. And that wealth is not just in financial terms. I find it with world travel, getting to know cultures, languages, food. I have friends in pretty much every country that I visited that I call personal friends, that I can go and stay with them. And those things are priceless.
You start living in abundance.
Yes, absolutely. So grateful. Places that I only saw on a map in school growing up in Texas, born in Arkansas, never thought that, you know, I'd be in Australia or New Zealand at the Indian Ocean, you know, or the Maldives, or, Dubai or Abu Dhabi, you know, just some of these beautiful places that we just miss out on. We have it on our bucket list, but we never take the time as Americans to go out and expose ourselves to different countries and cultures. We're just very much, we're a selfish nation. I'll just put it that way. and now
Have you been to Jerusalem?
I've not. That's on my bucket list.
I'll go with you.
Yeah, so I'm ready to go with anybody, because that's somewhere that I definitely want to go. Gotten close to going, but I never made it.
So do your products go there?
You know, my products go there. They go everywhere. I don't always get to go where they go. But yes, we're in pretty much we're on every continent except for the North Pole. I'm sorry, Antarctica. We're not in Antarctica. Okay. South Pole is not a continent. We're not in Antarctica as far as I know, but we're on every other continent.
So how does little Eddie look to you now when you start from there? Did she know that you will come up to here?
So it's funny because when you say little Eddie, you know how when you see a child, you notice as you get to be an adult and you notice a child, you notice that their personality is already there, right? So for me, growing up, we were a single parent household. My mom was a teacher, 6 kids. And I remember, we didn't have a lot of means, but I remember this show called Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. Okay, I don't know if you guys remember that show.
Yes.
And I remember watching that show and thinking, wow, this is how these really wealthy people, famous people live, And so in my mind, I wanted to live that way. I wanted to go and experience the hotels and the food and the day spas, just the excitement of going to these exotic locations and 5-star this and that. So that just kind of set me on the path where I always knew I wanted to start, again, my own business. And so I just had different people mentoring me, from my grandfather in the 70s telling me that I could do whatever I want. Don't let anyone ever stop me. And I think when you have that kind of people backing you, that builds your self-esteem, and you just know that I can do whatever I want. So if I go to one door and that door doesn't open, I tell other people, then that's not the door for you. Okay. You need if somebody tells you no, and you have in your heart, your dream, you just keep going, because, it's not always what we want. It's what God wants us to do. And so sometimes, just like with this opportunity that came to me, I mean, I was a sales merchandiser for a hair and skincare product for South Texas when my friend approached me asking me if I wanted to get in this industry. And actually, when I was supposed to interview, I thought, I'm not sure if I want to do this. And I didn't go to the interview. And he called me and he says, hey, we're waiting for you. And I thought, okay, if I don't show up to the interview and he calls me, then this is the door I'm supposed to go through, right? Because how often does that happen? That doesn't happen. So I went to the interview and here I am now with my own international business. And all I had to do was walk through that door that God had opened for me.
Perfect. And out of 6 children, all of them they took that lesson, or only you?
You know, you can grow up in the same household, but everyone's different. So some of us are entrepreneurial. Well, I would say most of us are entrepreneurial in my family, but just a couple of us have gone on the path to actually pursue to pursue that. Now, I would say my brother-in-laws are entrepreneurial and they have their own businesses. So it does run in the family, and it's, you know, it's pretty cool to see that.
So your family's in Texas?
Yes.
How far from Dallas?
Houston and
okay.
Austin. Yeah, so I grew up in Houston, but born in Arkansas. We were born in Arkansas, and then my parents moved to Houston in the late 70s.
Well, next time I come, we'll definitely have to meet up.
Oh, definitely. So you're in Dallas, huh?
No, I am not, but I go there for the spring holidays.
Okay, all right. Well, that's coming up, and I know I'm getting my vaccine. I'm waiting to get my second one next weekend. With this crazy world we're living in at the time, but you know, again, I take that as, and I have to say I'm truly blessed and grateful because I've been able to rest. I've been on the road straight for 20 years, and so even during a pandemic, I take a positive from that. And that's one of the things, being an entrepreneur, is that you always need to look at the positives, because if you're always looking at the negative, and I'm not saying that I don't get down because I'm human, but it goes away quickly, because then I start to look at what are the positives that come out of this, even with a failed relationship or failed friendship, or you know, disagreements with family and friends, or this business still didn't go through. You got to take those things and learn what is the lesson, or what is the purpose of me doing this, and you can always find the positive in that, or at least I do.
Yeah, you know, so whenever there is darkness, you need illumination. You know, that's what.
There you go. And actually, Illuminar means to light in Spanish.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It
does.
That's right. That's why I picked that name, because I have just, you know, when I was thinking of the name of the company, I thought, okay, we're doing lighting. So I thought, how do you say lighting in Spanish? And then I saw Illuminar, and I thought, I love that name. So that's where Illuminar came from.
Right. So most of us, we will like to listen to your speed breakers, because that's where, you know, people give up. They say, oh, it's too bumpy, I don't want to go this route. So
as far as being an entrepreneur?
Yeah. And
yes.
And being a woman also, both the things combined, what kind of speed breakers were there?
Yeah, so in the industry I'm in, it is predominantly male. It's predominantly white male. So I have a lot of obstacles, or I've had a lot of obstacles in the past, and of course it didn't deter me, because I'm still here. So I've had people come up to me, let's say at a trade show, and I'm in the booth, and they'll say, I want to speak to your boss. And I'll say, well, I am the boss. I'm the owner of the company. Okay, but who's your boss? So I don't know where the disconnect comes in when I tell them that I am the boss, I'm the owner, one of the owners of the company, and they ask me, well, who's your boss? You know, you wouldn't ask, I don't see them asking other males that, right? They accept it when a male says, I'm the boss. And if I say it, then they just assume that there has to be someone above me. Well, no, I'm it. So either talk.
Well, there is your Heavenly Father. He's into real estate, right?
Exactly.
He owns everything.
Right. And he has me here, and this is my business. So if you want to talk to me, or yes, as Nancy says, you can go talk to our Heavenly Father and try to get clarity from him. So yeah, I've had some obstacles with that, or with my competition,
Mm.
uh, not looking like me, being a Caucasian male, and they'll automatically trust his product versus my product. I have to prove myself, or a demo, or why should I use yours versus theirs, and that's where you have to learn patience, because they have this preconceived notion when I walk in the door, oh, she's a Black female. She may not be very technical, doesn't know about science or electrical or lighting, I just, or I'm an angry
Mm.
person,
Mm.
angry Black female, you get that. So I just let it roll off my shoulders, and, just it's just their ignorance. They're not exposed to a lot of Black people, and we all have our biases. I mean, let's be
Exactly.
honest, we all have them. So if someone
Yes.
says I don't have any, they're not being truthful. I mean, we all have it, we just have to work on it, right?
Mm.
So for me, I just, try to get to know the people and just show them, hey, not every Black woman is like what you see on TV, on Housewives of whatever, or Basketball Wives, or we're arguing or throwing drinks at each other. That's just TV drama that those women are getting paid for that. So when I see women like the Claire Huxtable on the Cosby Show, or you see other Black professional women like on Blackish, we need to see more of those kind of positive female role models, because there are a lot of professional Black women out there, and the number one group of people that are starting businesses are Black females as well, because we're not getting those opportunities. So instead of looking for someone to give us an opportunity, we're just taking it in our own hands and saying, hey, you know what? I'm just going to do this because no one's going to give me that opportunity.
Way to go.
So
So,
that's why I'm here.
so did you have any mentor or any books influenced you or any philosophy in particular?
To be honest, I did have some mentors. Like I said, I grew up I went to Bel Air High School in Bel Air, Texas. So it was a big melting pot. And so a lot of my friends, we were all different cultures, and most of my friends were either they're immigrants, or they were first generation. And so we were all diverse. And so we had the nickname of the Benetton gang. Because remember, Benetton was the United Colors of Benetton, right?
Right.
In the 80s. So that was the name of our group, because we were just all different. So I grew up, believe it or not, in the South, and we grew up in this bubble,
Mm.
and just not exposed to the racism and stuff that you see today. So I was believe it or not, I was really shocked about that. But anyway, a lot of the parents, my friends that were Jewish, and they were the ones that were um, mentoring me as a child. Of course, like I said, my grandfather, watching my mom. And then when I got into this industry, it was the white males who gave me the opportunities um, and mentoring me. So it's not always someone who looks like you that can mentor you. You have people that don't look like you, who say, you know what, I want to help you, because they see something in you, right? So you have to have that fire or that passion. And we're always, anyone is always happy to help that person if they have that passion and that fire inside of them to help them get to the next level. Or sometimes you can see a shy person and say, you know what, I see that person over there and I see a light in them that they don't see in themselves. And I like to take those kind of people and build them up and find out what their passions are and help them bring out the other side of them that they didn't even know that they had. So it's not always judging a book by its cover. We're all in this together. And at the end of the day, we all really want the same thing. It's just trying to get to that place. We all have different ideas of how to get there. And it's just, I think we're more united than we think.
Yeah, I heard it many times, and I'm a firm believer of it that when you are ready, it shows up.
Yes.
Right.
And
Most of the time.
and the thing is, I know that, a lot of people have different, religious philosophies. I'm a very spiritual person. So I just I just, worship. I'm just full of purpose. And I always ask the universe and ask God, what is my purpose here? Because sometimes you get stuck in something and you're like, why am I going through this? And so then my purpose gets exposed. And the only thing I ask God is sometimes just don't let the bad times last as long as they last, because I get it. It's like, why does it have to last such a long time?
I'll amen that.
Right, Nancy? It's like, I get it. Can we just move on to, like, I know that I'm going to get out of it, but it's like, why is it going on so long? I get what I'm supposed to learn. Okay. So that's the only time when I get a little frustrated. It's like, can we just move on from this already? So, yeah.
sometimes I meet with some people, they are going through the hardships of life. And I just tell them, which they don't believe at that time, because that's the hard time. I said, you are the chosen one now,
That's
You
right.
are getting the most precious lessons, which nobody else is going to get.
That's right. And we all bring something to the table. And again, you can, like with the three of us talking, we all can sit and chit chat and, share stories and ideas. And you always have to be open to learning. Okay. So a lot of times I tell other CEOs or people in high places to, check your ego at the door. Okay. At the end of the day, we're all human beings. And when you die, that title is not going to be on your tombstone. You're going to be dead like everyone else. And
Oh, I'm going to have Guess Who on my tombstone.
you're not going to have your name, Nancy. You're going to have Guess Who?
I'm just joking with you.
I know you are. And the
Yeah.
other thing is take the time to, and what the other thing that I learned is to balance work life, right? Because when we're younger, we're taught as Americans to work really hard and then you can retire, just work. And that works for some people, but in some cases, my health suffered being a business owner because, I just worked myself so hard and put relationships on the side. And then when you lose things and then you go, gosh, I sacrificed my relationships focusing on the money and and my health. And so when you learn to balance, not focus on the money, I also noticed that the money comes in when you don't focus on that. And that I did learn from Russell Simmons, who's a hip hop mogul, and he converted to Buddhism. And that's what he said, that he stopped focusing on the money. So I do like to listen to self-made people and figure out how they manage to balance and be calm. And again, so during this pandemic, I've been able to practice a lot of those things because it's out of my control. I can't travel. I don't want to travel. I don't want to put my health in danger to go get $1. So I've just learned patience and, and just, you can't control anything. So, and the money's come. We had our best year last year during the pandemic. So I'm really grateful for that. And that's God right there.
See, the wisdom nobody has monopoly on wisdom.
No.
So, you told your mother was a single mom, and just look at her. She did not had all that exposure you, me, we have. And
That's
she
right.
brought up these 6 beautiful people.
Yep. She
So
was a
amazing.
teacher. Yeah, she was a teacher and she was amazing. And then she left teaching and got into politics. And, I've just grown up with really an interesting family, not your normal family, but what is normal, right? Yeah. And normal is boring to me.
Boring.
So I like different. I just find the world interesting. I find people very interesting. And I just love things like this where I can meet more people and talk to them and just share my experiences. And I love to listen to their stories. I feel like everybody's stories is really interesting, how they came to be.
That shows the pattern of livingness, how at one particular moment, what did that person do, and you learn
Yes.
it, right? So many times, people before you also, there's those who came and they were talking about their story. I will just flow with them and completely forget why I'm here.
Right.
What is my next question? It's wow, really impressive.
Yeah, everybody's story is very interesting, right?
Yeah.
I
So
find
then,
it.
yeah, so then what are the now future plans? You know, you want to grow more, and how do you plan? And when do you decide enough is enough? Those kind of things also I want to know.
Well, I still love what I do. I know it sounds silly, but I love lighting. Lighting is needed everywhere we go. And even in the Bible said, God said, let there be light, right?
Mm.
So even God made lighting, had a specific quote about lighting, right, in the Bible. So I like to go around and travel and talk about lighting and how it improves surveillance systems or helps. Now people are looking at it for healing, LEDs for healing and medicine. And so just it's unlimited opportunities in lighting as far as in my industry, especially now with artificial intelligence and video analytics. You know, they're wanting to, you know, track people, not to get anybody paranoid, but meaning tracking, like when you're going to a big event, making sure that, you know, no one has a bomb, or, you know, that's what I mean, you know, tracking suspicious behavior, I should say, not people tracking. So there's just more opportunities coming as technology grows. There's just more opportunities for lighting. And so we've hired a consultant. We have independent sales reps that are specific to their area or specific to their field, and they have customers and they bring us into those customers. So again, it's collaborating, partnerships, and networking. That's what business is about. Just
So
like what you guys are doing here, right?
so are you looking for franchising um, your business other places
No,
or
we
not?
wouldn't franchise. No, we wouldn't franchise this
Okay.
business. It's just, again, if someone has a lead, you know, they come and tell us, you know, we think you would do well here. We got certified as a woman owned business. So we got that certification in October. So that's going to help open some more doors for us with governments and larger companies. So I'm looking forward to what the future holds on the other side of this pandemic.
Right. So I was asking this question because there are many women at this time, they're looking for opportunities.
Yes.
So if you have some, like, you know, work from home, or they can be your salespeople, so then we can talk about it later on. Or if you have some ideas, that also we can bring forward to other women.
And again, they may not work with Illuminar, but again, they could work in the industry because there are opportunities. And women make, in my opinion, women make better salespeople because we actually listen and understand what the customer is saying instead of just pushing our agenda, instead of going in and saying, oh, I got to say this, you know, actually listening. What does the customer want? What are they trying to, what problem are they trying to solve? And then how can my product help them solve that problem? So I find that women are better at sales, and the men that put me in the positions that I was in also felt that same way. So that's where I learned, especially about the international business, because the last place where I worked, they were going to make me director of sales and marketing, and that was an international role. So they took me on the road, and that's when I first went to Europe and started traveling internationally. And I didn't study business in school, and I just learned working for corporations.
Perfect. Nancy, do you have any question?
Yeah, I do. When you first started the marketing for your business, Illuminar, did it actually grow faster word of mouth, or was it through advertisements or cold calling? What was it that, you know, brought you the biggest success?
Well, I have to say, Nancy, being in the industry since the early 90s or mid 90s, sorry, I had already grown my own network. And then so it was the same type of customers that I had for that last corporation that I worked for, the one that wanted to give me the international role. So I had already grown a network of distributors and integrators. So it was just knocking on those doors, and then those customers wanted to support me having my own business. So again, being thankful for those connections of those customers that I had with my previous life, saying, oh, okay, this is yours. Okay, we'll give you an opportunity because it's your business. So again, you know, you have to be a person of your word and you have to be trustworthy in order for people to give you that chance, right? Because if you fail or you disappoint them, then that makes them look bad to their boss or their corporation. So you always want to make sure that, you know, you want to be honest and a person of your word. And that's really that was it. So of course, then we hired a PR firm, and that's helped get the word out more. And then had another PR firm, Elvira Guzman. She's a really great, she has her own PR firm. She used to work for Steve Harvey. And actually Steve Harvey told her to go and start her own business. So she has her own PR firm. And she's fantastic, as well as the PR firm that I use for securities called Maze Marketing. But yeah, Elvira Guzman is another woman you might want to have on your show. She's got a great story.
Oh, if you could please share me her contact info.
I definitely will.
I'd love to feature her.
Definitely will. And my younger sister, who's also getting her PhD, she's another woman who I'm just so proud of her as my baby sister, and watching her develop into this wonderful woman that she is. And her name's Erica Reynolds.
What is she studying?
Organizational development, so diversity and inclusion. Yeah. So perfect for this day and age. But yeah, just watching her as my baby sister, and I look and go, wow, you know, that's my baby sister, right? And look at where she is now. So, you know, I'm just really proud of her. So I always encourage women to, you know, just go ahead and take that chance. Don't wait for somebody to give you the opportunity. Just go out and do it.
So your subject knowledge of psychology also.
Oh, you're on. Okay, there she goes.
So your subject knowledge of psychology also helped you?
I think that learning psychology definitely has helped me with understanding human behavior. Definitely teaching me more patience with people, especially in these trying times. Not saying that I don't get upset, not saying that I don't understand 100%, but I always try to put myself in the other person's shoes and say, okay, where are they coming from? Because, you know, when someone acts a certain way, it's triggering something from a traumatic experience that they've had, or just, again, fear. A lot of the racism and things that it's just fear of the unknown. And again, that's all race. It's not just one race. It's every race that is just fearful of the unknown because they've not been exposed to people of a different race or a different culture. So yeah, that's where I think that the psychology part has helped me a lot. Definitely. I think if anyone's going to do sales, they probably should take a couple of psychology classes. That would help you.
Yeah, into sales, it's all about getting out of the comfort zone.
That's right. That's right. And when I was in middle school, I took what they called a speech class, and that's where we learned how to do public speaking. And you went to competitions, you did prose and poetry and pantomimes and things like that. So that's where I, you know, in middle school, learned how to speak did public speaking. So, you know, and plus growing up in a large family, you have to be loud in order to be heard, right? So it prepared me for this.
So one last question. So what
Yes,
is
ma'am.
the philosophy of your business? You understand philosophy, like what stream runs through life force?
I don't know. I don't know really how to answer that. The philosophy of our business. Well, in our mission, in our statement where it says about us, we like to make sure that we give superior products, great customer service. That's also important at a good price. Again, I check my ego at the door. So on my business card, as the president and CEO of the company, I put my cell phone number on my business card, because if anyone is looking for lighting and they need something, they can call the owner of the company to help them specify. You know, I don't say, oh, we'll call this person, even though I have people that they can call, but And I know that I'm giving them the best service. They trust me. That in turn gives me a customer that will return, and also word of mouth, right? They refer you to other people. So I think that's very important when you're doing anything in life. As we learned in the South, especially in Texas, your word is everything. And if you're not a person of your word, then you have nothing. Now, in this day and age, we have contracts and everybody has contracts. But before that, you just had to be a person, just do what you say you're going to do.
Has the pace of your business slowed down from COVID, or is it the same? Everybody needs light, so.
Everybody needs light. So as I said before, our business has picked up because a lot of people now have time to look at their surveillance systems, and they can see that the video quality is bad, or they can't see anything at night. And so they've been calling us. So business has actually picked up for us during the pandemic. And that, again, the grace of God. I planted all the seeds, and now I'm reaping what I've sown.
Perfect. So thank you very much. Very encouraging, very involved we were. And then we will continue to know more about you. We'll come back maybe
Oh,
next.
yes. I'm happy to come back anytime.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Nancy?
you, ladies, for this. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much,
Platform.
Eddie. And we'll keep you posted, things happening with Global Women Power. I have a goal, I have a vision to branch out there sometime, our organization. So.
That would be great. Yeah, keep me posted on what you guys are doing.
Sure,
I
definitely.
sure will.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.